Yes, sir. Back again with another episode of From Downtown. Today is June 10th, 2024. A cool Monday after a trash ass fucking finals game yesterday that I feel like could have went either way, but it didn't go either way because of a third quarter. And we don't really have much to talk about that game other than the fact that Wednesday the Mavs need to win. But most of the stuff that I want to talk about today is college football related. They dropped the top five toughest college schedules. Number one is USC. Number two was Purdue. Number three was Oregon, I would like to say, and then four and five was Michigan. I remember that before was another like a Big Ten school that has to play a whole bunch of schools that are ranked early. So no SEC team has a top five tough schedule. I don't know if that's because they feel like most of the SEC teams are prepared, I guess, for that type of schedule, or they just feel as if it's nobody else in our conference. Well, no, Florida is in this top five. That's the other team. It was Purdue, Michigan, UCLA, Florida, and USC with the toughest schedules. The hardest game for USC, which is leading this toughest schedule shit, is going to be September 21st at Michigan. You know, going from that West Coast to that East Coast, I feel like they're going to have some trouble playing against teams. Like, just getting guys ready to want to go out there and want to play. That's going to be crazy. I think they start the season off with a loss against us, of course, in Las Vegas. But other than that, I think they lose to Michigan, they lose to Wisconsin, they lose to Penn State, they lose to Washington, they lose to Notre Dame at the end of the season. I think they can beat UCLA. I think they can beat Nebraska, Rutgers. Yeah, they probably win 6 games next year. It sucks to say it like that, but I don't really. They got a few open dates left on their schedule as well, so you don't know who they could slide in. It could be a damn near swag school, but I honestly don't think any of these wins are easy per se, other than like the Rutgers win probably. But Rutgers is coming to Cali, so yeah, I would think that could be a good one. But you got to go to Washington, you have to go to Maryland, you have to go to Minnesota, and you have to go to Ann Arbor in Michigan. I think they lose a good chunk of these games that they have to go away for just because of the fact I got to see how they play in different time zones. Like, these were kids who played, well, not necessarily all of them, but they played Pac-12 ball last year to where they were fixed on one time zone. They damn near had all the late games. They had games starting at 9, 7, 6. Like, none of their games. They had Pac-12 at noon, of course, like Colorado and shit like that. I don't even know if that. No, that was Big 12. I'm tripping. You see, that's not even Pac-12. I'm wilding. So, yeah, like, the Pac-12, realistically, disintegrated for this reason, but I just don't like the fact that USC has to be so far. Well, any of those West Coast teams have to be so far away. I think who in the fucking ACC now? Is it UCLA? Is UCLA in the ACC? Is like two teams in Cali, and like Stanford and somebody else is in the ACC now, and I'm like, that's gonna be hell for them to go from, you know, the West Coast. You were in a coast full of great schools, great, you know, great football, but you got to go to the fucking Atlantic Coastal Conference. You're not even on the Atlantic Coast. Like, nigga, why are y'all in the ACC? Like, that doesn't make sense. So I feel like they have to kind of not realign things, but just could you name a fucking division something else? Atlantic Coastal Conference isn't going to cut it when you have Stanford and UCLA in it now. So, yeah, that's all I see for USC. I think they're like they said, their toughest game is going to be at Michigan, but at number 2 we have Florida, and Florida's schedule looks fucking terrible. Like, I think their schedule might be worse than USC's schedule in terms of them winning. It's going to take a lot from Graham Mertz and, you know, fucking either a quarterback behind him that could do work. I think DJ Lagway's still there, so that's like a freshman, sophomore, redshirt freshman, however they put it. So tough games. I see Miami to start the year off, week 0. Texas A&M, September 14th. September 21st is Mississippi State. October 5th is UCF. October 12th is Tennessee. October 19th is Kentucky. open date for the next week, and then November 2nd is Georgia, November 9th is Texas, November 16th is LSU, November 23rd is Ole Miss, November 30th is Florida State. Florida could go down literally without winning 4 games this year. It depends on their quarterback play, like I said, just to start the year off, but the defense has to show up for the last 7 games. From October 12th to November 23rd, they are going to be on the run. Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss. You're going to get beat up so much that it's going to be tough. Even if you feel like you have a better team than, let's just say, a Ole Miss at that point in the season, they're still going to lose. Like, you got beat up by LSU the week before. You got beat up by Texas the week before that. You got beat up by fucking Georgia the week before that. So I don't feel like this schedule should be the toughest schedule. Yeah, this should be the toughest schedule. I don't think USC's schedule even matches up to this. Florida is in the SEC. Tough. We play tough schedules regardless, but this is damn near like saying Florida isn't supposed to win, or this is a fucking schedule to show Napier he needs to leave, or this is going to show if Billy Napier needs to stay as the coach of Florida. I don't see them winning a lot of games next year, and that's fucked to say. Like I said, for USC, it's fucked to say, but like when you look at the schedule for what it is, at brand value, I feel like they only beat Samford. They beat Mississippi State. I'll give them that one. Texas A&M could be a toss-up. I think they could probably beat UCF. After that, yeah, that was fucking 4 to 5 games I just gave you. After that, no, I don't think they don't win. They don't win other SEC games. No. Last but not least, the third school that I want to talk about before we get into 4 and 5, because I don't really want to talk about Purdue or UCLA. Let's talk about Michigan. So Michigan is ranked number 5 in the toughest schedule polls. I don't think they have a tough schedule. Michigan, of course, is going to play 2 top 10 schools in the first 4 weeks. But honestly, I think their toughest game is going to be Ohio State. I don't see Michigan and Oregon being a bad thing. I don't see Michigan and fuck. I just had this fucking game on my mind. It was Michigan, Oregon. Damn it, Michigan got another fucking big game, and the fucking schedule won't pop up on this dumbass website. Damn it, Michigan played somebody early. Texas. Yeah, they play Texas. I feel like that might be one of their more tougher games to me. But honestly, Ohio State is the end all be all for that season. I think that when we look back at it, Michigan will still be a 1-loss team if they have any losses by the time they get to Ohio State. Michigan is still one of the best schools when it comes to recruiting wise. So I feel like they can classify a lot of guys, or refill that roster up quick. But Michigan is going to have to, I don't know, they're going to have to beat Ohio State. That's the biggest thing with me. If they can beat Ohio State, they make it to the 12 of the national championship. Get that shit out of his mouth. But other than the fact that they ain't doing that, I don't think that most of the games that Michigan play are going to be games in which they not favorites. Like, all of the games should be favored, even against Oregon. Like, even going to Oregon, I don't think that's a game in which I feel like Michigan can't win that game. Going to Texas, well, no, Texas goes to Michigan. So a home game against Texas, I don't think they lose that game. Like, Texas, of course, is SEC talent now, so you got guys ready to roll. But Michigan is great. Michigan is a great team. I can't just act like they don't have anything returning from last year. You lost your quarterback, but the quarterback wasn't even a fucking focal piece of your offense. You still got Donovan Edwards. You lose Blake Corum, but you probably pull in another Michigan running back from somewhere and have him do goddamn the same thing Donovan was doing last year, and let Donovan take over most of the workload like Blake was. They split backfield last year, I think, but before last year, it was really just straight Blake Corum. I think that goes to say again with Donovan Edwards this year. But other than that, that's all we have today for From Downtown. All I want to talk about was some college football stuff, because tomorrow we're going to go deep into what I saw from the finals. Next game for the finals is Wednesday. MLB today has started already, so we only have 2 games left, so it's not much to talk about there. The NCAA baseball super regionals have been crazy. Only ACC and SEC teams have made it. We'll start worried about betting and teams we think to win the College World Series once Omaha starts. So, other than that, this is From Downtown. We'll see you tomorrow.